Welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is episode 30, but it's also the world's premiere.
The word of the world.
Yeah, I got a little tongue-tied. I don't know if that's going to keep happening, but if you're new to the show, my name is Zach, and I'm joined, as always, by my wife, Hannah.
Hey.
And my best friend, Jake.
God dog, it's good to be back. How's everybody doing tonight? Why did it just cut like that?
I fade it later. So you guys,
you got to let it just cut.
Yeah,
now.
okay. I was about to say you guys don't typically hear that, but we fade it. We're in a little bit of a hurry because we record on a laptop. Hannah left her charger at work, and so we should be good, but we're trying to just get through this just in case.
Just in case my boss listens to this particular podcast episode, which she won't.
Never.
There's no way. I guarantee you. I'd put money on it. It stormed all day long at the store today, so I took my laptop with me to get a little work done, finished all my work before lunch, ended up watching the Netflix Ted Bundy Conversations with a Killer.
Hey, shout out to Zac Efron.
So this is not the one he's in. This is the one where it's like an actual taped
yeah,
interview.
He is playing Ted Bundy in something.
Yeah.
He's going to do a great job too.
Do you think he's going to sing?
How great would that be?
Do you think he's going to take his shirt off and wear small shorts?
No, but Vanessa would.
Hudgens?
Oh, Hudgens.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, they've not been together for 10 years.
Well, that you know of.
No, because she's been with this other guy.
That's not true.
That's exactly the problem. We've got the other guy in Zac Efron, so take your pick.
Yeah, you'd take Zac Efron all day
take your
long.
pick.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen him in the movies?
Like Baywatch.
No,
I haven't
High
seen
School
that.
Musical.
No, I'm talking about...
Oh, Troy Bolton.
Is that the one with the afro?
The one with the shot?
He doesn't have an afro.
I've never seen any of the High School Musical movies. None of them.
Have you seen the one where he's...
I just literally said I haven't seen any of them.
No, where he's 17 again. He's
It's
like a
called
dad.
17
Hey,
again.
Yeah, and then he turns 17 again, and
That's
he's
a
like
good one.
learning how to be a teenager, and it's
I
so
actually-
funny.
Chandler from Friends is
Yeah,
in the movie.
I actually
Yeah!
I haven't seen that movie.
It's not a bad movie.
It's not bad.
Weirdly, on Doug Loves Movies or some other podcast I was listening to, they brought that up as like a pretty good like coming of age. Like it's just a good movie and Zac Efron's good in it.
Yeah, I'm serious. I've seen it a handful of times. It's really not bad.
You got any more on the Efron front? We typically start all of our podcasts talking about Zac Efron.
Just about everyone.
That's not
but
true.
I'm going to segue and say I just have a thing for men named Zach.
What a coincidence.
I know, it's so weird that I married one.
Spelled the same way too.
Can we put...
Zac Efron? Oh, no, I'm talking about Zach Nichols.
No.
Can we post a side-by-side of you and Zac Efron on Twitter?
For sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll get to work on that. Speaking
Can we
of...
put your head on his body?
Oh, yeah. I can do that for sure.
I wish...
I work on Photoshop every day.
I kind of wish that you really could like take your head off and like switch bodies.
He's
with
like
him.
5. Like I get he's in great shape and like that's everyone would love to do
He's
that.
so tan.
He's like 5'7" though.
That's okay. I'm 5'3".
No, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't trade. That wouldn't be a good trade off.
I tell you what, there's a real dad bod
What do you
movement
do with your height?
the ladies today.
What is it with your height?
Have you seen me play basketball?
No.
Exactly.
You don't take me because you go into the dark crevices of the woods to the courts.
Where do you think?
There's nowhere else for you to play.
Jake, you play basketball with me all the time when we play.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever played in a dark crevice of
Actually,
woods.
I have played at one park that's way back in the woods.
A place,
you didn't go that
a place
day.
that Jake would not be able to go.
I was the only white guy there for sure. And it was awesome because no one expected me to do anything. So when I scored on somebody, they just made fun of that guy the whole time, which was great. I was the hero of the day. Now, they looked at me kind of like it's like when you let like the special needs kid play on the team.
That's right.
And then you cheer anything he does.
Yep.
But hey, I was ready for it.
It's because he might be special needs.
I have special needs. And they're the challenge related.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're also me related, but we won't get into that tonight.
I don't know about that. So if you're new to our show, which we're assuming we're going to get some new listeners because it's the start of a new season.
Hey, you know what assuming does.
You don't want us to say it's a
This
PG
is-
show.
No,
do this for
it
the
is a
kids.
PG show. We do not use foul language on here, but never assume anything ever.
Yeah, so if you are new to the show, we keep our show clean. We want everyone to be able to listen to it. We've had a lot of people reach out to us saying, "Oh, I'm glad I can not have to worry about turning the podcast off when my kids get in the car or things like that. And we do that on purpose.
We have a lot of friends with kids, and so we're just aware of that at all times.
None
Also,
of us have kids.
No, but you and I
You
have.
sounded surprised by that, Jake.
Zachary, you and I have 6 nieces and nephews.
None of them listen to podcasts.
No, but because they're 6 and under. But I also help teach a class of 1st through 4th graders.
Who none of them listen to podcasts.
Some of them do.
No way.
The older ones do.
My-
I'm telling you, I have 2nd graders in my class with iPhone 10s, X, whatever you're supposed to call it. They got nicer devices than I do. But yeah, I have to keep everything. One, my personal preference, I don't like to use foul language. Just doesn't make me feel good. But also I have to watch what I say in front of children at all times. So it's just easier to keep up with that.
We carry that mindset over to the podcast because in the event that children do listen,
which I don't think I don't think we have
don't
children
know.
to listen.
We don't know.
You don't know
now,
how many kids are going to accidentally find us.
Indirectly, like with their parents or whatever. But I will say, if you are new, I'm going to hit our plugs really quick because the way we share most news or events about like who's guests that come on the show, we've interviewed some people from last season and from past seasons. We have a couple more in the works. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But
via Twitter.
We do announce on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So on Twitter, it's at Smashing Heads. On Instagram, at Smashing Heads Podcast. Smashing Heads Podcast on Facebook. Smashing Heads Podcast at gmail.com. If you want to email us like a little bit longer, you don't want to be limited by 140 characters or whatever it is now. So that said, I am going to announce a new guest that's going to be coming on.
Here we go.
Because we talked to her again tonight. This has been in the works for a little bit, but we did not know the teams yet. Turns out she got paired up with one of our favorite people.
That's right.
And it's Dee from Geordie Shore.
That's right.
The Australian.
From Australia. Now,
I'm not going to attempt to say her last name. Jake, you can try.
I think it's Wynn.
I do too, but I'm not sure because they didn't say it.
How do you spell it?
N-G-Y-U-E-N or something like that.
I think it's N-G-U-Y-E-N.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me.
Well, I went to high school with a guy that had that exact last name. He told me it was Nugan.
See, that's why I wasn't going to even try. So we'll ask her when she comes on. Because, again, in Australia, it may have a different dialect. She said her parents, I think she said, was it Vietnam?
They're Vietnamese.
Yeah. And
or her mom is.
So when we first started following all of the new people from this season, when the cast was officially announced, Dee was the one that followed us right back immediately. And so we reached out. We're like, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you on the season. Do you want to come on sometime? And she's like, absolutely. I'd be stoked to come on. Direct quote. And
which is funny because she doesn't know us.
She doesn't.
We could be total psychopaths.
We could suck for all she knows.
In fairness, we don't know her, and she could be a lunatic.
I don't think she is.
Well,
again, her and Wes hit it off pretty good.
She and Wes.
And so she's in Australia, though. That's the only reason why we don't have a date nailed down for sure, because we have to do it where she can record on a Monday morning before she goes into work, and
but
we can do.
She's an early bird, so that kind of helps us with timing.
And we can do a
stuff.
Sunday afternoon when we're not having anything going on. So if you guys have any questions for Dee, go ahead and send them to us. And
we'll try to
keep,
rope them up.
Yeah, keep track of all that. So she will be coming on soon, hopefully in the next couple weeks, just trying to nail down a time that works for everyone.
So be on the lookout for that.
We do have 2 other interviews in the works. People that we've talked to that said they're coming on the show. Big names. I mean, I'd say big names for both of them.
Yeah.
Old names.
Yeah. One current season, one past season. And that's all I'm going to say right now. But we've been in contact with them even within like the last week. One of them like yesterday. And so just trying to work out some scheduling and things like that. Because again, there's 3 of us here. They have to all match our schedules plus theirs. And so we're always in different time zones. So it's not usually as extreme as Australia, but
all the more reason, if you're not already, to give us a follow on Twitter.
Because we'll announce on there.
Go check us out on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and subscribe on iTunes.
Send us emails. We love emails.
One thing we have not talked about in a while, ratings and reviews on iTunes go a long way. Because that gets the show in front of more people. It makes it trend.
But if you leave a rating and review for the actual podcast, make sure it's not on the most recent episode.
Yeah.
Just specifically the most recent episode. So, like, if this episode sucks and you want to give it 1 star, please don't give the entire podcast a 1-star review.
Or if you disagree with us about something, like, again, we try to put out a good quality show, but we've said from the beginning, we're all fans. We
have our own opinions.
We all have different opinions. We disagree with each other.
We don't get paid to do this.
No. And so, by that measure, we understand people are not going to always agree with us. Also, we record directly after we watch the shows. And so we're going in unfiltered. We don't edit anything out. After like episode 3 or 4, we stopped editing anything because we got more comfortable with it. And so we're this far in. Unless somebody says something that's going to get them in trouble with like a personal relationship or something, we're not going to edit it out. And, even anyway, we might leave that in just because I don't want to edit after we get done. But we keep this rolling, and we know we're going to have some new listeners. One other bit of housekeeping before we jump into the premiere tonight. If you've been following us for a little bit, we've been working our way through the ruins.
It's a big deal.
It is.
It's a good season.
We're 6 episodes in. We've recorded podcasts for 6 episodes. To be fair, it's only been 3 podcasts. We do 2 episodes per podcast. But we had
For the ruins.
But we had another one scheduled to record this week, and now MTV has taken that off their site along with a bunch of other ones. And in fact, people started reaching out to us. They had taken off the ruins, but they still had a bunch of other old ones like Cutthroat and things like that. Now all those are gone. So they're like retroactively just removing. I hope it's because they're going to partner in the future with some streaming service or launch something like FX Now, like where if you have a cable provider, you can just watch on demand. However, kind of screws us and our listeners that want to finish out the ruins. So we're working on a fix on that. We've had a handful of people reach out, like way more than I expected, saying, hey, I've got these. I'll send them to you. The problem is that doesn't really help you guys that are listening because we want it to be a free way like it was a week ago.
Unless you're listening to the recap pods without watching the season.
And so,
like if you remember watching the season a couple of years ago and you just want to sit and reminisce, try to see by listening to our recap, try to see what you remember happening.
We have had people say that they're doing exactly that. They're like, I'm not watching along with you, but I am listening to these to kind of jog my memory. And so, for them, it doesn't affect. So what we may do, worst case scenario, you can buy each episode on Amazon, and they're like $2 an episode.
But we don't want you guys to have to do that.
No, but at the same time, we can't legally upload even if we have them shared with us. So we're going to try to work something out. Again, that's why you need to follow us on social media. Even if it's like, hey, if you need to watch The Ruins, send us an email and we'll provide you with a link of somewhere to watch it. I know they're on Daily Motion apparently, but the quality of those typically is pretty bad. So we're working on it. So stick with us. Follow us on social media. That's just the quick things we had to get off up top just because that happened literally within the last 24 hours. Speaking of, quick shout out to Marie going through a loss of a family member. She's one of our favorite people. She came on. She's the first person to agree to be on this show, honestly, even though she was a second interview. And so our hearts are with her with what's going on right now. So just wanted to say that real quick. But she's not on this season. Let's jump into tonight. We're really excited about this season.
It's there's been a lot of anticipation building, and
it came quicker than any of us thought was going to happen.
Jake,
yeah.
Why did I think that you said anticipation incorrectly? It sounded weird and
to
wrong.
be fair, before we started recording, she meant to say stopwatch going. She said, I have the stopwatch going.
No, I said stopwatch.
She did. Jake.
Maybe it's because you're such a big fan of Jenna that you've taken on some of her flaws and that she can't hear accents very well or understand accents very well.
We'll get to that
What?
later.
So
I'm not. It's not anything I'm hearing. I literally said stopwatch.
Hey, speaking of accents, someone on Reddit today, just in the podcast subreddit, was like, hey, I'm looking for podcasts with people with a country accent. And like, I prefer it to be like conspiracy theory or whatever. And I was like, a lot of people tell us one of our co-hosts sounds like George W. Bush.
Junior. But like George W. Bush.
Well, I didn't say H.W.
you guys are morons.
George W.
Hey,
Bush.
take it up with
but
Shane.
when he was 20.
If you want to hear Shane Landrum break it down to him and just
Just
Tell him how it is. Go listen to our interview
just
with Shane.
slay him with it.
Nobody knows what they're talking about anymore. This is false.
It's not. You have
No.
an
It's
accent.
not real.
You have an accent.
I have an accent, but in no way, shape, or form or sound do I sound.
Out of everyone on the podcast, you sound the most like him.
It's definitely
It's-
not me.
It's so far.
You would be number 2. You have more of an accent than I do.
No, I don't.
Absolutely.
At least I have good grammar.
I wish I could record you when you get on the phone with your mom because you turn into a
It's not
completely
the
different
same.
person.
They live on a farm in the country, in a town the majority of the rest of the state has never heard of.
Well, here's how we started off tonight. Is we had 16 challenge veterans and 18 prospects. So without it even being explained, are you stopping me? Did that not record?
No, it's recording. So again, we're not plugged in.
Holy moly.
The computer just went to sleep, but it's still recording.
Okay.
What's it on?
Percentage wise?
Yeah.
38.
Let's go.
All right,
We started,
okay.
we started with 45.
We knew right from the start that without it even being explained that 2 of these new cats are going home.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
16 versus 18.
And we figured as much last week when we kind of did the math, because we're like, this isn't an even number, so we're like, the rumor is it's only 13 episodes this season, which is a big cutback from last season, even though it's a bigger cast. And so we knew right away something like this was probably going to happen, like a purge.
Yeah.
And
well, I just need to get out my first note before you jump in. Zach's hair looks really good.
Hey.
thank you.
No, not yours.
Oh.
I mean, he had a bandana on like
No,
90% of the episode.
No, in his little interview confessional thing where he's wearing the cool Hawaiian shirt, he looks good in that too. Boy, his hair looks good. My other note was I hope that he's growing it back out.
I'm growing mine back out.
She didn't
Do you
ask
have-
you. She didn't ask you.
I did not ask you.
Do you? So I don't wear it like Zach does, huh?
No,
You don't.
you don't.
It's different, sort of.
I mean, have
Mine's
you?
a lot more thick and coarse than
Yeah,
his.
but have you seen him?
I've seen Zach. I'm not impressed.
You wish.
Okay.
I'm not gassing out on top of a mountain.
That was one time. No, I'm not going to
Just
defend
one
that.
time.
Again, he did have Laurel kind of carry him.
Also, a weird "Born to Be Wild" song.
Yeah, and I caught it right away because the lyrics are pretty distinct, and
Yeah.
you're like, "What is this?" And
I
was
couldn't
like,
figure
I was
out
like,
what
it's
it
Born to
was.
Be Wild, but it's very strange. Yeah, you pointed out that we kind of noticed last week that numbers were different. Immediately, not Ashley Kane, Ashley Mitchell. The first thing she does is count how many of the new people there are, and she comes to the same conclusion. Very observant. No one else said that.
It's good to know she
Yeah.
tings like we do.
Well,
I don't know if I want that
no,
distinction.
I don't want to compare us. I don't want to compare myself to her. Kyle does not seem excited to see his UK friends. Like he starts calling off all of his friends that
I
he
think
sees.
I think he seemed to.
No, his face when he first saw them, and then in his confessional thing, he was like, he was very concerned, almost worried, because I think he, in his mind initially, it was going to be vets versus rookies, because he said about several of the people on the rookie team, UK people on the rookie team, he said that you don't want to mess with them. And I've heard a lot about Ashley and Bear. And so he seemed kind of worried in his
I didn't get it as he was worried.
Assumption.
I thought he did say that you don't want to mess with them, but I thought he was just like pumped to see people that he knew.
he wasn't smiling.
Well,
He was
again,
doing the opposite
he's
of
also
that.
having to be around Polly and Cara, which we'll get to
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
later. But yeah, I think no one, at least what we saw, no one else made that observation that Ashley did, and so TJ gets going. There a lot of the new people, the prospects, are all barefoot because they just came out of the tent, which is kind of weird. So TJ's like, "Hey, we're immediately going into a daily."
Which 5 minutes into the episode starting, it's literally the complete opposite of
Oh
like,
yeah, it was like 3 episodes before we got one last season.
yeah. And so I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I'm stoked.
again, if it's 13 episodes, they're gonna have to make fast cuts. Like it's gonna be what we're assuming. If this holds up as 13 episodes, which again, we're spoiler free if you're new. So we don't know. We try not to know that type of stuff because we want to give honest reactions. There's going to have to be daily deliberation, elimination, almost every episode.
I am here for it.
Yeah, again,
I want all the action.
It's kind of going back to the old seasons on that front. So yeah, we get into a daily immediately called Impending Dune, which there was a metalcore band, or actually like a deathcore band.
Yeah. Not a fan.
I wasn't either.
But I'm not a fan of deathcore.
I'm not either.
Death metal, any of it.
So it depends on that, but yeah, most of it. Yeah.
Well, for this challenge, the way that TJ explained it, since there's 2 more rookies, the 2 rookies that come in last place in this challenge are out. No Redemption House, no elimination. I mean, they are packing their bags and they're gone.
The lowest male, the lowest female, or not lowest, but the last place. Yeah.
Last to finish.
They were immediately going home, which I'm for. Just because, again, we got to have fast cuts. We were so happy there's no Redemption House this season.
Much better way to send people home at the beginning rather than, last season opened with them being buried and.
But it ultimately didn't matter because you went into Redemption.
Right.
Yeah. We weren't fans of that.
The whole last season was just too. It's like they were trying to get too flashy with it.
Too many twists and turns. It got convoluted. I think they lost a lot of fans' hope. Again, we talked about it on the basic training and maybe even before that. They brought back a producer who produced kind of like in the heyday of the challenge for this one. Not the guy who did this last trilogy, the Dirty 30 through Final Reckoning. This is a guy from Fresh Meat 2, Free Agents, Infernos, that type of stuff. So
that's what we want.
That's why this season feels different already. Especially compared to the last 3. And I honestly kind of forgot how watered down those seemed at first.
Yeah.
Not disparaging anyone that was on them. It just went away from the formula that we were all used to. And we talked about it last week. We're all pretty stoked about these new people. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't feel like a lot of the new people are just here because they're on their next show. Like last year, I felt like with people like Angela. I felt like she was just trying to be on another reality show.
That's exactly what she was doing.
So even though she did compete and they were better than I expected, it didn't feel like they were here to like prove guys people on this one like Ashley Kane and Turbo and those guys, they want to win.
Those are the 2
from what
guys
I could tell. Theo,
I am here to watch.
I think Theo's going to be good too.
I think so too. But I mean, to even further that point, so the guys start out first for this challenge. Right away, Alon.
Well, to start off, basically the challenge was they dump a huge pit of balls, and you got to chase down like a dodgeball sized ball, and then grab it before it goes down the sand dune. Once you deposit it up top, you get a bag with puzzle pieces, and you got to run down to the bottom. So the further your ball goes, the more you have to climb back up,
and the slower you are to get to.
The more time you waste.
Your puzzle. Yeah. So, right away, is it Alon
or
Alon?
Alon.
Alon does not even notice his hand injury until he sees some of the girls freaking out.
Did we see him actually get hurt?
Yeah, he fell.
I didn't see it.
I didn't notice it, but they zoomed in on his hand, and it's covered in blood.
We saw it after.
And he even said so himself. He's like, I don't feel the pain. I'm just trying to get through this challenge. And I'm like, this is the kind of hardcore stuff that we have missed out on in the last several seasons.
And to be fair, to me, after we watched last season, he looked like last episode, he looked like one of the softer of the new people.
Yeah.
But
I didn't expect him to be so hardcore.
He looked
already.
like he just kind of busted the knuckle on his middle finger. That's all we could see. Now we'll get to what really happened later. But yeah, again, props to him for pushing through and finishing. He finished ahead of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Well, Han?
I was just going to say, I think everybody should know by now, Turbo is my number 1 for the whole season.
We all really like Turbo after last week.
I just love him so much. So immediately after last week's episode, I found him on Twitter and I started looking. I was like, let me just see what he's about, because he made a couple really good jokes last week. Yeah. His Twitter's pretty funny. Yeah. So I went ahead and followed him, and Oh my gosh, he tweets and retweets every 30 seconds.
He's funny.
So
His English is really bad on Twitter.
So my Twitter feed is constantly just filled with stuff that he's put out there. But boy, he's funny.
My favorite thing about him on Twitter is he can't understand context as well because it's a second language for him. It's more impressive that he can do that. We don't speak second languages.
He almost got into a fight with Johnny Bananas
because he didn't know if it was a joke.
He's like, but if it's only joking, we're good.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Anyway,
I sent to you guys earlier. Someone had been like commenting a bunch, like putting the Turkish flag and like all these things about Turbo. It turns out it was his mom, and he commented underneath it. He's like, "I told you my mom was watching." It's like I wasn't lying.
So I'm a fan of his mom too. Yeah. Anyway, so Turbo, he's my number one. Boy, Ashley's he's my number two. He finished first place.
I did not expect him to finish first. With these new people, you hope they're a good balance of not just like super strong or super fast. If he can here's my one takeaway before we get too far into it. I will say I don't think this specific puzzle is indicative of how good you are at the challenges, because the people who won versus the people who came late, we've seen enough of these people in the past to know that some of the ones that came in really late are really great at the challenge. Like Carl was the last one, and Wes was like number 6.
Carl wasn't the last one because Jenna hadn't finished yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. She was in the bottom 3 though.
Cara was one of the last. Wes was one of the last.
He was 6th.
And Johnny Bananas, of course, is like making fun of him.
But he came in like 3rd.
You're supposed to be so smart.
He came in 3rd, I think. When they started, Kyle got a ball that was like 2 feet from the basket, and so he didn't have to go anywhere. Yeah, and then he's the one that got stuck there for a long time.
He was second to last. No, he was the last vet to finish.
Yeah.
Well, while, guys like Ashley C. and Turbo are sticking out, Chase may have thought he already found his match, and Leroy getting on the ground, and because this is the Tinder guy.
Yeah.
He's looking for his match.
Bachelor.
This is the Tinder guy, okay? You can call him the Bachelor, whatever you want to call him.
He is on this season looking for love.
He's
he
looking
said
for
so
love.
himself.
And we'll get to that. Man.
The money is just a second.
Right.
Yeah, and Leroy, I feel like Leroy thinks or views this season as his chance to finally get an opportunity to win. And so he is all in.
Well,
and so, he said he was going to take that from Chase. He's not letting him have it. He was taking it for himself, and he ripped it right out like an animal.
A quick recap. Leroy took the last season off. He got his barber's license.
We're very proud of him.
Yeah, congratulations.
It was great.
If you remember, the last thing that happened to him on Vendettas was Cara kind of screwed him over
by picking
for
Kyle,
who was a rookie then. And he was hurt by that, and so he took some time off. He's back. We hope he does well. He's been one of our favorite guys since the real world.
Since the beginning.
You can't not like Leroy. You can't.
Leroy is really not here for the rookies. Just not doing it this season. Wes was in I wrote Wes. I meant Kyle. Kyle was in 6th place and hit himself in a sensitive area.
No, Wes came in 6th. Kyle came in further than that.
Wes in 6th place. Kyle hit himself in a sensitive area.
He did. He hit his balls a little bit with the puzzle pieces.
Which, that's just kicking a horse while he's down.
Is that a phrase?
Yep.
I don't think that's it.
Did you guys take any notes on Paulie?
I think it's beat a dead horse.
Hello?
When they're down.
Hello?
Hold on. We're not there yet.
No, I'm here.
No, the one thing.
We're not. I didn't write one thing. I did not write one thing about it.
Let me say my thing first.
Not one thing.
I wrote Hunter had to run super far because his ball went all the way to the bottom of the dune, and then he had to run back up.
Here's the thing, is that before Paulie took the win here.
Which, again, is why I'm saying this puzzle is not... It's not just him. It's because...
Dave Vaughn came first for the girls.
I get it.
Cara came real last, and then...
But Cara's not really good at puzzles, is she?
She's not, but that's what I'm saying. This isn't indicative of if you're good at the challenge or not.
But you heard...
Okay, yeah, I'll let you
I'll let you finish.
You heard the man, right?
Who you calling the man?
Paulie.
He's not the man.
He's not the man.
You heard a man, right?
I heard a man. Yeah.
He's Cara 2.0.
He said, I want to set the tone.
That's insulting to Cara, who's an idiot
I'm
right
the
now.
player here to beat. And what does the guy come out and do? Listen, everything apart from Cara poly related, I'm in on. I'm going to say it. I'm here for it. I think the guy's great.
Jake, you're going to have to leave our house.
Listen, I can't get into it yet.
I don't want to fight tonight.
No. I'm not saying that. All I will say is one of our guests that's coming on, who's a big name, has listened to our show. He said, I'm a fan of your show. And he clearly has gone back and listened to past episodes, because one thing he pointed out was he's like, tell Jake to stop playing the heel. Because if you listened to us last season, he really would lean into taking that poly angle.
Halfway into the season.
And if you're new, he likes to play it up because he's a wrestling fan. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I'm ahead of the curve. No one else wants to admit it. No one else wants to admit that this guy, ever since he got out of that redemption house the last time, has stepped up his game, and he's starting off the season the same way he ended it.
I'm not doing this.
Natalie doesn't run off the trail. They win that final.
Oh, no.
They do.
I don't believe that.
They do.
So anyway, Josh gets last place. Who
didn't find his match?
Who just won? No, Josh.
And
I'm sorry.
He just won. He won Big Brother, and then immediately came on here, got last place, and is eliminated like that.
He was a guy people were really excited about crossing over. To me, he doesn't look super athletic. He's big, but like he's not like imposing like some of these other players. But
I've heard he has an attitude.
That's the thing. He's supposedly got a pretty bad attitude. But like we've seen in the we've seen enough previews. We knew he wasn't gone because he's been in too many previews. I said from the beginning, and you guys can back me up on this, I was like, I think Alon goes home. I think he's more hurt than what they're letting on, and what I was like, I think they're going to make him go home, and they're going to bring Josh back, because we saw Josh in clips with Amanda later on.
Right.
And that's MTV's fault for letting that slip out.
So that's what happened. Josh gets last place. TJ's like, dude, you're going home. Then we start the women's round. Davon is the first place vet.
Second-year players showing out.
Yeah.
Natalie.
I will say, Big Brother finished at first place. Big Brother also finished last place, both teams.
Natalie, Ninja.
Yeah.
Is first place rookie. Mm-hmm. So she's making a name for herself, which she didn't really have to. Everybody knew who she was. Wes, and I quote, I'm drawn to D. And I had a note, this would be the ultimate pairing.
Well, and shout out, we'd already reached out to D at this point. We didn't know that they were teammates.
Yeah.
And we've always been a fan of Wes. We know some people hate him, but we've all liked him.
Yeah. So the fact that we like Dee, because we've talked to her a bit, and we love Wes, of course. When he said that, I was like, "Ooh, I really hope they're partners somehow." Which
I'm excited to see them.
We know, I think at this point, that it's gonna be vets and rookies paired together, and so.
Everyone assumed the vets, that whatever place they placed in, they were going to get to pick their rookies.
Yeah, kind of like the, what's it called that they did on Fresh Meat?
Combine?
Yeah.
Combine. Yeah.
Yeah, we assumed it was something like that. But I one thing I did bring up to at least Jake, I don't remember if I said it to you, it would have been interesting if they did no picking, which we'll get to what happened later, but if they're like first place
gets last place.
Well, yeah, first place vet gets the last place rookie. Second place gets 15th, and so on.
And then you meet in the middle.
Because that's what they do in like March Madness for like seeding and stuff like that. Like the number 1 seed plays the 16th seed, and so that would have been interesting.
I think that would have been really cool. But I got really excited when they showed that Wes, if he were able to, he would choose D as his partner. Zahida is the last rookie in, and the Liz twin goes home.
Well, before Liz goes home, if you watch in the background, like she eats it twice, hard. She's running down that hill and face first both times.
She's not mentally prepared, I don't think.
I said last week, I think out of all the new people, the two twins might be my least favorite so far.
Yeah.
Just because I really like this rookie class for the most part.
I really like the UK people.
Yeah, again, I don't really
I think they're going to be fun.
I don't really have a problem with anyone other than they kind of got on my nerves, the twins.
But they weren't UK.
No, I'm saying the rookie class.
Oh.
So
I just want to shout out Cam for shot caller Cam here.
Coach Cam, Killer
when
Cam.
when she called for a check, she just walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
she said check, and then walked away. And then TJ walked over and he's like, "It's good."
Start calling her Cam Curry.
I'm not doing it.
Because you're not a fan. You don't know how to respect greatness like Paulie.
Yeah. Did you just compare Paulie to Steph Curry?
No.
That's one of
that makes me like Steph Curry less.
I'm a guy.
Jake.
I don't play head games. I call it like I see it.
No,
He-
if
he is only head
anything,
games.
you are playing all of the head games.
I am not.
If you say one more thing about Paulie, you're out of my house. So
We're gonna have to talk about him a little bit more.
We are.
So,
we are.
So the Liz twin goes home. The other twin is devastated, but I think she kind of like alluded to it with all of her. We've never been separated ever before.
That's just
she
editing.
has to make it. Yeah. But I mean, like she was really going in on it though.
If you close your eyes and listen to them, they sound like the exact same person.
Well, they're twins.
I know, but they sound exact. I know twins in real life that don't sound alike.
I know twins in real life that don't look anything alike, sound like exactly the same person.
Well, that's not the same scenario.
Well, we can just say we all know twins in real life.
Yeah.
How about that?
Chances are you know at least one pair of twins in real
I
life.
do. I know twins.
The movie twins.
What twins do you know?
I can't say them.
Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
CNWR.
I don't know who that is. Are you talking about the Parent Trap and Lindsay Lohan?
That's the same
and her,
person.
And her, no, Lindsay Lohan has a twin from the UK. She lived in London with her mom. That's how they filmed the Parent Trap. It was about their real life.
I wish that was true, because let me just say as a quick little side note.
Lemmy Lohan.
Hannah made me watch Lohan Beach Club last night.
We have never watched it before.
Not true.
I did not know.
Not true. I have watched the first episode.
I've never
because
watched
you
it.
were cooking and I was trying to watch because I knew they were going to release some info for War of the Worlds. I hate that show, and we watched it.
I did not understand the premise. I knew nothing beforehand.
Lindsay Lohan is 32 years old.
Hey.
And she looks like she's 57. It is very sad for me to watch because she is only 2 years older than me.
This is what happens when you don't take care of yourself.
No, this is what happens when you turn 32. So you better soak it up while you can for the next 2 years.
Zach is
year and a
pushing
half.
it.
Next year and a half. Because you turn 31 this year.
Listen, it's
Do you know how old I turned this year?
Lindsay Lohan
20.
Lindsay Lohan in her prime was one of my like celebrity crushes. In her prime. I'm talking about like Mean Girls era.
Parent Trap.
No, Mean Girls. Because I was in high school and she was probably like
I feel like you were
17 or
more the
18.
Freaky Friday type.
Yeah.
She was the punk rocker.
Or whatever that like, she had some Disney Channel original movie about being like a detective. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but do you...
There was one.
Are you talking about Life Size? The one with
No.
Tyra Banks
Yeah,
where she's the Barbie that comes to life?
That's not at all about being a detective, so...
Well, she had to figure out how Tyra Banks came to life.
Oh, man, I can't... I think Bug Hall was in it. Like from
what?
Little Rascals.
Yep, I remember Bug.
Yeah.
I need to find out what movie this is.
It was Disney Channel original
Bugging
movie.
on a
Yeah.
first name basis.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Anyway,
The early to mid 2000s Disney original channel movies were lit. Like they are the thing to watch.
I've never heard you say that phrase in my life.
That's a little weird.
That's how excited I get about Disney Channel original movies.
I think you're trying to be cool to our audience.
No, you have the Lizzie McGuire movie.
That was so lit.
She's trying to get her own stand following.
No,
Yeah.
what
the Hannah stands.
Queen Hannah.
The Luck of the Irish movie where he's
God,
the
you
basketball
would-
player. The one about the boy that turns into a mermaid. And
You would eat that
The
up.
his best
13th
friend.
year.
Yeah,
Listen, don't challenge me and Zach
there
on,
were
on these
so
Disney Channel
many
movies.
good ones. They're all good.
Not true, but
Well,
a lot
I
of
mean,
them are good.
after about 2008, they really went downhill.
Did you realize Xenon is 20 years old?
Oh, yeah.
20 years old.
Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century?
Yeah. What was the song that they sing in that?
I don't know. I don't have.
Supernova Girl.
Listen,
Oh, I thought it slam dunked the funk.
That's in Smart House. That's in Smart
that's
House.
another good one. I was thinking
They
about
actually
that.
had the band 5 in that
Yeah.
movie.
I literally was just thinking about that movie the other day, like 2 days ago.
So
We're getting off track here.
We are off track. I just want to say since
we
you
love
brought,
Disney Channel. We love old school Disney Channel.
Since you brought that up,
Yeah.
I used to have a group that would get together and play basketball, and it was for a church group, and I called it Slam Dunk Defunk, and no one understood what that meant because no one got that reference. And so I had some guy come up to me, and he's like,
That's one of them things if like you're new to, like if you don't know anything about you,
Yeah, I
like
know.
they're like, what's this dude about?
this
man?
like
What's this
40-year-old
guy's
guy came
problem?"
up to me, and he was like, so are we just gonna like sit together and like listen to funky Christian music? And I was like, no.
Toby Mac.
I was like, that's not what we're doing.
Next time we play basketball, we should play Toby Mac in the back. Because
Ugh.
I don't want to do
No.
that.
that's the funk right there.
He's known for funk music.
Oh.
So anyway,
Okay, so
I wasn't starting.
so the two people, the last two plays,
Liz and Josh.
yeah, they go home, and so then everybody else is running to the bunker, as TJ called it, and then I mean, you just see CT and Turbo.
Well, let's say shout out to Liz. She looked like she had a mustache from where she fell so many times.
I didn't see it. So CT and Turbo are literally strolling casually into the house.
I just want to
no
say something.
rush.
That's after
Real-
they showed everyone else running.
Real quick about those two. Tell me they would not make a great like buddy cop movie.
Oh, I was just
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
that. I literally was just thinking
I
buddy
was
cop.
just thinking that.
Yeah. Like, because one, Theo is out in front of everyone because, hey, he's a track star for Great Britain's national team.
And I mean, he looked like that was walking
He's
for him.
6'5". He's got long
He literally
strides.
looked like it was walking for him.
So he was in front of everyone. CT's taking it easy because, one, he's been here for so long. He knows people are going to get him a room. Turbo just doesn't care. He would sleep on a rock and be fine with it. He'd be in bed by 7:30 every night, I think. Because we saw last time
I'm
he
waiting
was the
for
first
that.
one to sleep.
He might actually go to bed at 7:30 at night.
Speaking of, if you want to Google like Turbo highlights from Turkey,
Do it.
it's great.
Do it.
need to
Make your life better
I need
and
to
do
send
it.
it to you, Jake, because he is the master of post-win celebrations. You wouldn't think it.
He did one on here.
He
I
did.
did the Kamehameha wave tonight.
He does. He
Kamehameha
does
wave.
Dragon Ball Z moves. He does. He commits.
Hadouken.
He commits seppuku, which is like when ninjas like cut their stomachs open to
Yeah.
kill themselves.
He does dances.
He does all kinds of dances.
He does backflips.
Yeah.
Standing backflips.
And if someone put it to some Usher song, I don't even remember. Yeah. I think it was. Yeah.
Well, the big thing when we first got in the house,
I'll
and
text it to you later.
And it actually started during the guys' heat for impending Dune. When
Dune.
That's what it's called.
yeah,
Okay.
That's the right words.
I thought he meant to say doom.
No, it was in Dune because they're on a sand dune.
Oh man, I thought I really got you with that one.
But you got yourself. That's what you get when you assume.
All right. Well, here's the thing: is that
I didn't assume anything.
holy
you were just
moly,
wrong.
you guys! You remember I shouted about this on one pod, right? Like
What?
15 pods ago.
No.
I can't keep track.
I don't remember anything.
Well, here's the thing: is that this started during the guys' heat when Paulie won and Cara said he's so effing hot, and then started singing a sex song about him.
Yeah.
And then they get into the bunker, and then she says, "We're gonna have sex here, and
Well,
here,
so-
and here."
She's just walking him throughout
hold
the
on.
house.
Do you do that with Zach?
No,
Let me-
we don't have sex.
Oh
We
God!
can't talk about this. It's not PG.
Is that real?
This
Yeah,
is a
that's
PG
real. Yeah.
podcast.
Oh man!
No, let's. So when I made my note that Polly came in first,
Jake, we just hold hands and go to sleep.
I also wrote
Freaks.
/ gross Cara because that's when she made the first reference.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to where they go in the house, I literally just wrote gross Cara again because she's.
How about annoying Cara?
Listen, we had to talk about them so much last season, and then
It's gonna happen again
and
this
then
season.
so much happened in between seasons with them, and I am just so fed up and annoyed by them two as a couple that I don't want to talk about them at all anymore. She's going so out of her way to parade him in front of Kyle and everyone else.
And everybody knows it.
And it's to the camera too, and it's just annoying because we were all fans of Cara going into last season.
Before
All
Pauly.
of us.
It's like this is the culmination of what we've experienced the past 3 seasons of Cara, because it started with Dirty 30. You kind of started to see this like deterioration of the Cara that we knew, the girl that was easy to root for, and now this is the culmination where she's this. It's like she's 14 or something. And look, I don't even care anymore.
It's so annoying.
She's annoying,
Yeah.
and it's
And I mentioned to you guys on Instagram today, or maybe it was yesterday. She did an ad for a weighted blanket that
it was yesterday.
that she's getting paid. Whatever, make money, do that. But she says, as many of you know, I've had a really tough start to the year, and now that Polly's not here with me anymore, I need something to help me sleep at night. And I was just like, Polly is the reason why your year's been so hard so far, and we're a month into it. I was like, you went on a podcast with his other ex-girlfriend talking about how awful of a person he is, and then immediately accepted him right back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so done with them at this point that, like...
She needs
I think
to...
I called her an idiot earlier, and I don't really mean that, but I kind of do. And I'm sorry, but also not.
What she needs to do, and I don't care if the people that say, oh, I love them together, I hope that they would get back together. If you got crap to say about me calling her out on this, go ahead. Rip into me. I don't care. I am sick and tired of it because I have seen people like this in my own personal life that are like this. They can't be alone and single long enough to figure out who they really are. She needs to get away from him and find her own identity that's not just correlated with someone else. She needs to not be codependent. She has to be strong enough to be able to live on her own away from someone so toxic and bad for her health.
That's the problem I have. It's just he's not. He brings away more negativity and like toxicity into her life than anything else. Like, yeah, she's been in bad relationships before in the past, but I think she's been in not good relationships, and she's using that to justify
being in another bad relationship.
All my other ones are bad. This one will be fine, and it's so much worse. Like,
I would rather her be back with Kyle.
Jake, we've been watching her on TV since like 10 years now. Like, Fresh Meat 2 was 2009. Like, we've seen her for 12, 15 seasons. I don't even know how many she's done. I think it's 14 now. And it's different now. It's just different. And I get people grow, but this is
not growth.
No, it's the opposite.
It's negativity feeding into negativity, and it is just bad.
It is so bad for her health, and you can see it in her eye. She's not healthy mentally.
And let me be clear, we're not saying the girl's evil, man.
No.
Like,
No.
and that's what happens.
I don't care.
That's what happens, and like,
I want her to be happy. I want her to be in a healthy relationship with someone that supports her emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. I want someone that is going to just feed positivity into her instead of this whole Joker, Harley Quinn and Joker thing where they just...
Which is one of the most toxic
they are
relationships
so
in pop culture.
destructive with each other. And they're idolizing that, saying they should be the next Harley Quinn and Joker. And that is the worst thing for her. It's the worst thing for anybody, but specifically for her.
There's so much just like blind fandom for her where there's this... It's like...
And to be fair, we were all fans of her.
We were.
For a long time.
Until about halfway through Final Reckoning.
We never root for anybody's downfall.
No.
We're three of the most supportive individuals you'll find on this planet. But the fact of the matter is it like she has developed some real destructive habits, and people are enabling her by saying,
supporting
you
it's a
girl,
good thing.
you know, screw all these haters. And it's like, no, man, like there's a real problem here. There's a problem. Be a fan, but like, don't be ignorant. Don't be dumb.
I want everyone to make a note that this is real Jake, not the Jake that comes out when we talk about Polly later.
No, Jake, I'd piggyback.
Because I agree with you.
The thing is, there's a huge difference night and day. There's a thick line drawn in the sand difference between supporting someone and encouraging.
It's not helping her.
Horrible things.
This is not rocket science. As the great Albert Pujols said, this isn't Ricky Sign.
I don't know that quote.
I
know Albert Pujols.
Anyone that is encouraging her relationship, her destructive relationship with Polly is...
You're a delusional fan.
Well, I mean...
I'm sorry.
Anyone that encourages that type of relationship encourages her entire demeanor crumbling.
You are the dog in the house burning down emoji saying this is fine. That's
Yeah.
what you are.
And the thing,
I didn't know where you were going with that at
the
first.
thing is that kills me, like, if you really support her, if you really love her as much as you say you do, just as a fan, you should love her as though she were a friend of yours. Would you want and encourage your friend to be in a toxic relationship that destroys her from the inside out? Or would you encourage her to leave him and find someone that completes her, that supports her and makes her be the best her that she can be?
My whole problem is just that he was a fan of the show before he came on. He knew she was the most like dominating female competitor. He literally told his friends, "Hey, I'm gonna F that girl." Like that, his words. I censored it, but and she's like, "Yeah, great, cool." And it's like you could do so much better. But we've already talked about he legitimately. I don't think I've ever said this on the show. I might have. I think he might be my least favorite person to ever be on this show.
You have said it several times.
I've said it to you, but I don't know if I've said it on the show.
You said it several times.
I'll repeat it again. He might be my least favorite person to ever be on this competition series since it started.
No, might be, is.
Well, now we're going to have a Twitter thread about how we buried Cara. And
No, we didn't.
Nobody listened to what we said.
Listen, we did not bury Cara. We buried the toxic relationship that is absolutely destroying her.
I didn't bury anybody. I just wanted to say what I wanted to say.
I want what's best for her, as though she were a friend of mine. I only want the best for my friends. I want my friends to be happy, healthy,
Wealthy
well off,
and wise.
wealthy and wise.
Well-
and right now there's no way she's happy and healthy.
She's wealthy.
She's wealthy.
She's wealthy, but she can't be happy and healthy in a relationship like that.
And she's not wise if she gets back with him. And she did.
She
Because
did.
this season was filmed pre-drama with Danielle and all that. So,
Well,
can we be done with them?
Yeah, no,
Yes,
here's the,
I just had a note that Kyle said that about the two, that they've morphed into one person called Para.
I took a picture of that and put it on our social media. Lots of people. Lots of interaction. Good Twitter content.
I'm glad Kyle's here.
well, the other relationship that stuck out to me was my guy Chase
And
with
Nani.
his Tinder mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had found his perfect match. I think he truly believed that.
It's been not even 24 hours.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I don't
he,
even know how many hours it's been.
Well, when they got into it, she's like, "I met you 24 hours ago."
But can I
Okay.
just look? I'm with the guy here, okay? I'm with him. Don't give me all these signals.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
I know. I was about to say, I agree with that.
Don't give me all these signals. Don't allude that you're into me. Don't allude to the fact of that, and then go sit on this guy's wiener and grind your butt against it.
can't
I
say
can say
wiener.
wiener.
In what looked
you have
like
to, if you say wiener, you have to put dog at the end of it.
in what looked to be the same room, like she was in the room with him.
Yeah.
No, she walked over to Bananas, sat on his
Wiener.
She did more than sat
wiener
on it.
dog, and as she was making movements while
Gyrating.
in Bananas' lap,
On
I
his
s-
banana.
I swear she was like making eye contact with Chase the whole time.
That could have been editing again. They
Well,
do
he
stuff like
looked
that.
really
But he
weird.
clearly saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
He clearly was
and
aware of it.
Also, this was after they had already kissed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't-
weird.
Which again, Nani should know better than to kiss someone 24 hours into a challenge.
I think she's just doing it for fun because she just got out of a
And-
really serious relationship for 3
and
years.
it might be, but that is like I will say he's dumb for thinking anything different, but that is very mixed signals.
Listen,
Very.
I will say, if I were in her position, if I was, and she literally said she thought she was going to marry this guy, and obviously,
Chase?
no, the guy that she was with for 3 years. She said they were in a really serious relationship. She said she thought they were going to get married, and the fact that she said that and they've broken up, he either cheated on her and she left him, or he broke up with her for somebody else because she's getting a little upset about it.
She might have cheated
If
on him. You don't know.
if I were in that situation, I'd absolutely go around kissing people. Just let loose, have fun.
I'm responding
enjoy
to
it.
someone who asked if we are still recording the night of, and I'm saying we're recorded right now.
Yes. So Nani and Chase, Nani and Bananas, Cam and Leroy.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of like weird, like mojo going around this house so far already. But so Nani and Bananas have a weird thing going on, and Chase like confronts her about it like they're dating. Like
Well,
they're
to
like
be fair, they have dated in the past.
no.
But I'm saying,
Chase and Nani.
Bananas
have
and
not,
Nani have a past together.
Yeah, but Chase and Nani have never dated, and Chase comes up and confronts Nani as though they were currently in a relationship and she cheated on him. He's very upset, but we have to keep in mind he's not here to play a competition. He's not here for the challenge. He's here to find love. He said so himself.
Specifically, his perfect match, and
Yes.
Nani unmatched him.
And he already.
He super liked her.
Yeah, he super liked
Yeah.
her, and then she swiped left. She super liked him back, messaged him. He messaged her, then she messaged back.
analogy's
I
off the
don't,
rails.
I don't
And then she
understand
unmatched
all
him.
of this terminology.
I understand it because I've been on Tinder
What
and
do
it
these
sucks.
words mean?
It freaking sucks. It's ridiculous.
So anyway, Chase is just here for another weird form of The Bachelor that includes money, but
Which is
not
dumb.
competition,
Like-
which is so stupid. He's in La La Land.
No, man.
I'm not a fan of Chase.
She got his
I'm not a
hopes
fan of
up,
Chase.
and I totally get it.
I will.
get it.
I will say those are very, very mixed signals. I
get
think
it.
they're both dumb for having any sort of like physical connection.
I don't think she
Day
meant it
one?
that way. I
Doesn't
think
matter.
she was just like, hey, he's cute. I dated the same guy for 3 years and he did me wrong. I had made wedding plans, la la la, and we're not together anymore. So I see a cute boy, I'm gonna kiss him.
Here's the thing. I consider myself a good guy, right? Like
I don't.
I mean, most guys consider themselves good guys.
I'm not a player. I'm not one of those dudes. I'm one
Hey.
of those guys. So here's
Hey,
the
wait,
tip.
wait, but are you a playa?
You have a tip.
I'm not either of those. Here's the tip. Don't kiss a nice guy on the mouth, because he's gonna like you after that. Is that bad?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Am I being unreasonable here?
No,
Yes.
I think they're both. I think they both are unreasonable. Like
I think
I'm just
Nani's
saying-
just trying to have a good time,
the
and
slightest
I don't blame her.
bit of attention. You know,
I just think it's bad. It's bad gamemanship to get involved with someone like that because again, that puts a target on you right away.
Yep.
Nani should know better than that. Chase is new to this show. He's
Yeah,
naive.
but Nani hasn't been on here in a while.
But she still knows how it works.
Yeah.
And her best friend is Jenna, who's been on like the last 8.
Yeah.
And
So Theo says something about Smashley calling her Eminem's mom. What does that mean?
okay, so I wrote that down. I said he called her 8 Mile. He said he reminds her of she reminds him of 8 Mile and Eminem's mom. I think he just meant like the accent because she has a very weird accent.
Country.
But even Michigan is not the same as like where Ashley's from. I think she's from like West Virginia or something.
Michigan. Where'd you get Michigan?
That's where 8 Mile's at.
Oh.
Detroit.
Yeah. It's a famous street in Detroit.
Shout out Jalen Rose.
Yeah, the Fab Five. So yeah, Michigan and West Virginia or wherever she's from, or just Virginia, are not the same dialect. But to be fair, he's from the UK. All their accents are all over the place. It's crazy to me how different the British accents are just from the different regions. You can tell who's from certain areas just based on how they
Yeah,
talk.
but if you think about it, the UK people probably think that about all Americans.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Like he just like, oh, you have a crazy accent. Eminem's mom had one. He may have meant it as a diss, but I don't feel like he was trying to be vicious right off.
Well, he did preface before any of this happened that he has a weird sense of humor, and you're either going to understand his humor and think he's really funny and get along with him, or you're not going to understand his humor and hate his guts.
He said, "Think I'm a dick."
That's what he said.
You PG.
That's PG.
It's a little
Debatable.
PG-13. So Smashley like blows up on him, which we're gonna have to just start calling her Smashley because we have another Ashley now, who's the literal complete opposite of her in every way.
Battery update 20%.
Okay,
We need to
let's
get on
hurry up. So Hunter steps in and he's like, "Dude, just apologize and walk away. Just let it go."
And before that, they had shown Hunter talking with, I think it was Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, I heard," because this episode or this season was filmed before Final Reckoning ended, and so as far as I'm aware. And so she's like, hey, I heard about it, but I don't know what happened. So he tells her. I will say the recap they gave him a pretty good edit. They didn't show all the stuff that led up to Ashley making that decision.
Yeah.
I think they both were at fault, but it made it look like Ashley's just like, screw you, I'm going to just take the money and run, which she did. But it also, there was factors that led to that.
He did a lot of things that were deserving. But yeah, I just thought it was funny that Hunter tried to step in and help out Theo by advising him to just apologize and let it go.
He just did a whole season with her as a partner. Again, she went as far as saying, oh, tomorrow I'm going to pick you, and then just get disqualified right away from the whole show.
I'm rich. I don't have to win this money. I'll take us both home.
Yeah.
And Theo is like sweating bullets at this point because he really thinks that she might do it. But then next morning, TJ gets everybody.
It's next night. It's the next night. It's nighttime.
Anyway, TJ's like, hey, rookies pick the teams. Thought this would be fun, which it is.
Yeah, so we let Jake take all the notes of teams because he has a laptop, and I take handwritten notes, and so he's faster.
I have the first one. Ninja picked Polly, which I was not surprised by, but when she picked him, he was excited, so he ran out there to her. She ran to him and like jumped midair to like chest bump with him, and
she just jumped in his arms. I think.
Well, he like caught her, and then his hand like wiped her butt, and something happened, and Kara's like
weird. That's a weird way to say that.
with this hand.
It's still weird. No, like he grazed her butt. Like
anyway, so
wiping your butt.
So there's some butt touching, and then Kara sees it, and she's like, "Hey, watch the hand,"
because she wants everyone to know she's the one having sex with Polly.
Yeah, and so like they're like teamed up, and then Kara like yells out, "What'd she yell out?" Like,
not so handsy now.
No, she yelled out something. Yeah. And she yelled something else out. She's like, "I'm gonna have sex with him tonight."
That was earlier. She said it so many times.
Well, she said something else because I wrote in parentheses, Kara, super gross.
Well, she said in the confessional point.
Oh yeah.
Of this, she said, I'm so jealous now.
That's what it was.
She admitted to because he's on a team with another girl.
Yeah, well,
she's got bigger arms than Kara.
She said something real gross, and it just grossed me out.
I'd stop taking notes of gross Kara because I just was done with it.
Yeah. Who was next? Cam?
Do you want me to just run down?
Let's run down. We'll give quick insight on them. What's the second team?
Second team is Ashley C and Killa Cam.
I like it.
That's a good
that's a good team.
I like it.
That is an underrated pick for him because most people probably wouldn't Kara or things like that.
He's playing smart.
Cam,
she's smart.
We like Cam. We
love Cam. Cam is intelligent.
Yeah.
Specifically Ashley C. I'm going to do it that way.
Yeah.
Picked.
Yeah.
Killa Cam. Morgan then picked Bananas.
Which makes sense because they had talked about it in the kitchen. She just won Big Brother.
She said she was going to pick him. I don't know that he would have picked her.
He said he would. He said, I would pick you.
This was a weird one. Bear picked Davon.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, that one was weird to me.
Here's the thing. I don't think Bear's ever watched this show.
I don't know that he watches this show.
And he's like, oh, she came in first yesterday.
I think it's one of those things...
I think Bear's here to have fun.
It's like...
I do too.
It's like when we play pickup basketball, right? And we play with a bunch of people we don't know.
Yeah, it's so much fun when we do that.
It's like me, right? Because I'm not great at basketball, but I'll have a game where I hit like a bunch of threes, and then everybody thinks I'm awesome, and then I won't hit another three the rest of the time we play.
And then you get mad and throw things.
But I get
and then I do all the dunks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get... It depends. If people know me, they'll pick me kind of... upper, but if they don't know who I am and I'm just showing, like, I don't
pick your upper body.
I don't necessarily look like someone who's going to play really well, but then I don't
necessarily look like anything.
Then I get picked, and then I dominate in the little post.
I think you look all right.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you had to pick me or Zac Efron, which would it be?
Zac Efron.
I mean, you've been with me all my life. Why would I abandon you now?
That's why you're on this show.
I would pick Zac Efron because he's already had his appendix removed, so I never have to worry about that.
Jake's already had his
future.
appendix removed.
That's why you guys only hold hands when you go to bed.
To be fair, we don't hold hands when I go to bed because I can't stand someone touching me when I go to sleep.
Sometimes we don't even do that.
I can't sleep if somebody's touching me at all.
It's just somebody, not me, just anybody in general.
If there's a stranger in my room touching me, I can't sleep.
Next, we have Theo picking Cara.
Yes, but he prefaced it by saying, I'm going to pick the winner. I'm going off a winning streak.
He said it will surprise people given some recent events. So he played it up, which I'm for that.
And Amanda got really excited, and then Ashley's like, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna pick me! No way!" And then he says Cara, and I'm
which
like,
is the better choice.
Yeah, but that was really funny.
Yeah. I mean that could be a really good team.
Yeah.
Now, if he can't do puzzles either,
Then they're screwed.
yeah. So far, Ashley and Cam are a strong team to me.
That's probably one of my favorite teams.
What's next?
Next, this is a weird one. Julia picked CT.
It is weird.
Oh yeah, that's the twin that stayed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
CT is a big name. He didn't do great last season, but again, we interviewed Devin. Devin said last season he was as strong and ready to go. CT was as he's ever been. He just is not in the most physical, dominating. Like when you look at him, you don't think that, but he's like you didn't want to mess with him last season. And so, again,
Well, Veronica did.
CT always does well on these, even if he's not in the best shape anymore. So
Even if he's carrying Veronica.
it's a solid pick. And we love CT. I will say there were maybe some others that you would have taken above him, which, here's the thing. I hope she doesn't suck because CT...
That's I don't know what to think of her.
It's not even fair. If she sucks, it is not fair to CT.
We already know her sister went home. And so I hope he's not stuck with another partner that's not very good because we like watching him do well.
Yeah. I was really surprised nobody had picked Zach at this point.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. He was the last one. But
I know. I was super surprised.
a lot of
by
people
that.
don't like him.
I was disappointed
just
by
in
it.
general, they just don't like him.
Next, Turbo picked Nani.
Huh. His quote, "Gotta make her proud of me."
Yeah.
Also, his quote: "In my country, women is very important."
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing. An underrated pick, I think, because Nani hasn't been here in a long time. I don't know if he knew that or if he knew her past. Because again, he's coming over from Turkey. We don't know if he's ever watched these shows.
They had the first night and day to kind of mingle, get to know each other.
And they got to watch each other
And
do that
so-
one daily.
So I think he examined her for a few hours and probably figured out that maybe she would be a good personality-wise fit for him. But also she's pretty good in competitions and stuff. So, yeah, I was excited about that.
We have 17% left. to
Yeah,
get in
we
here.
could hear
I
that.
don't know. Me and Jake were trying to mouth stuff back and
Who's
forth.
next?
Next, D picked Wes.
Yeah, he was giving her like a stare, like you have to pick me,
We
and
like
she
this
picked
one.
up on it.
Well, that might be
like
one
this
of my
one.
favorite teams.
Her quote,
it's definitely top 3.
Her quote: "Surely he doesn't have any enemies, right?"
Yeah, she
She may not watch the show either.
No, she doesn't.
She said she's never watched it
She
before.
messaged us tonight and said, "Yeah, I picked him." She's like, "I had never watched these shows before," and like, "He's a cool guy."
Yeah.
And she has no idea. Him and Bananas have like one of the biggest beefs, like going
Yeah.
back for 10 years.
That quote, I couldn't
Also,
let it go. Couldn't let it go.
Before Rivals 2, him and CT had a huge thing, and a lot of people don't like Wes because he plays very politically hard-headed, and
But he's great. We love him. He's super
yeah.
funny. Who's next?
JP, who I'm a fan of.
I'm a fan, but I
Yeah,
forgot
I
he was
like
on the show.
JP.
I
Yeah.
forgot he was here.
He's the engineer.
Oh, I know who he is.
He picked Natalie.
Which was strange,
Yeah.
except that here's one advantage that I thought of. They both speak Spanish.
Yeah.
They can strategize
In
probably
Spanish.
better in Spanish than they can in English.
And then nobody else knows what
Yeah,
they're saying.
exactly. They're going to be able to communicate very
Listen,
well.
I'm telling you, he's an engineer. He's thinking like 16 steps ahead.
Like that may be, like here's the thing. Natalie sucks in eliminations, but she's pretty good at dailies.
Yeah.
And like if they can work some stuff out, like they may be able to like on the fly like speak in Spanish and people aren't going to know what they're saying.
I call it now. That's an underrated team to watch. Who's next?
Except Natalie sucks in eliminations because she lost like 11 of them.
Who's next?
Maddie chose Kyle.
Yeah, I wrote in all caps, yeah.
It's a big team.
I'm
Physically
ex-
big.
They are
It's-
freaking.
I think comedy-wise, it's the biggest team.
They've got to be the tallest team. Like,
Yeah.
like because he's taller than most of the guys,
Yeah.
and she's definitely taller than all the girls. And also, they're both crazy. She's from Party Down South.
She
yeah.
even said so that they're both
Yeah,
crazy.
I said it to you guys, and then she's like, "Yeah, we're both crazy," and I was like, "Absolutely."
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see that.
That's gonna be the most fun. Like, could blow up and go in what direction we have no idea.
All right.
But it's gonna. I like that team.
So who's left?
We have 5 teams.
An underrated team for him to make it that far.
Yeah.
Considering what he's done so far.
Chase picked Tinder guy. Picked Ashley M. Smashly.
Yeah.
Out of what's left, she's won.
Yeah, she's won.
She won the last season.
Technically won twice. So who's next?
Shailene selected Leroy. I don't really know what to think of this team.
I don't
know much
I don't know
about
if it's
her.
and it's her. I don't know.
I have nothing. I have no idea
I
what
don't
to make her.
know.
And
I don't have
Leroy's
anything.
had so many weird injuries on these that I don't know what to make of that.
Zahida
Yep.
picked Zach.
Well, she didn't really pick him. He was
They
the
were
only
like-
guy left.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
because she says she's very emotional.
I like Zahida's drive. She said she's here to prove that she can make it without anybody else.
She also said last episode, "I'm not very good at most things." She's like, I don't have a specific thing I'm good at.
I think her being his partner is really gonna test Zach, just everywhere.
Here's the thing. I agree, except that I think anyone in the world is gonna be an angel sent to him after
Amanda.
because him and Amanda did not mix well
Yeah.
at all.
So we'll see how that goes.
So speaking of, that's when we get to.
There's one more team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay, go.
That's
That's
what we're waiting
not-
on.
Okay, go.
Gus picked Jenna.
Yeah.
And when he did, Zach was yelling. He was so excited that Jenna was picked over Amanda. One, because they were the only two left and there was nobody else for Amanda. And so everybody assumed that meant she went home. And so Zach was really excited that Jenna got to stay.
At this point,
Thought that was really
had they
funny.
announced that Alon was out of the game?
No.
No.
That's what they come for. And
Yeah.
that's what happens immediately after.
Because we saw he wasn't really around the night before.
Well, they announced. No. They announced that before the team started
Yeah,
getting
that's what I
selected.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they show him. He's in a full cast. They say he actually broke his arm. It wasn't just he
Yeah.
busted his nose.
Yeah.
He's in like a
whatever.
full cast.
Yeah, so he's unable to compete. And so Amanda's left.
She thinks she's going home. And then TJ announces.
But we knew otherwise.
Josh is coming back in, and now Josh and Amanda are a team.
Which Amanda started, she complained for a second. She's like, of course I get the last place guy. And my thinking was, at least you didn't go home. Everybody thought you were going to go home.
Also,
you thought you were going to go home.
He won Big Brother, and like
I don't think it's going to be that much of a downfall if he came last place in that first daily.
I think that might be an underrated team that kind of sneaks in underrated. I think they're not going to get along at all, and he's already going to cry. We saw that, but that could be an underrated team, and I think he will do better in this game than Alon would. He seemed kind of too reserved and boring for me. But again, props to him for playing through a broken arm.
Yeah,
that's pretty intense.
Super impressed with him. All right, that's my last note.
So we saw a preview for the rest of the season. We won't really get into that because it wasn't specific to the next episode. And so again, what we do on the show, once we get to the end of each episode, we do our superlatives for the night, playing off our name, which if you don't know, our name comes from the famous CT quote in, I think, The Duel 2, where he's going to fight Adam King, and he's like, smash his head, need it.
Yep.
And so that's where our name came from. So at the end of each episode, we do who smashed heads and who got their head smashed. And so who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Smashed heads. Alon. He did really,
Smashed
really
his
well.
arm.
He did really well in the first daily, working through a very bloodied, broken arm. Not even noticing the pain, totally blocking it out. Still finished pretty high up in the ranking.
Oh, yeah.
At some point,
I know where you're going already.
you guys are going to have to just give the man his due.
I'm not giving.
No, I gave
He's
Alon
not
his
the, we already
due.
we already established he's
I
not
gave
the man.
Alon his due. He even went home
He's
on this.
he's a man.
He deserved
give
it.
a man his due.
Well, while Alon is smashing his arm, Paulie is continuing to smash heads.
So by that logic, you're gonna have to also co-captain it with Davon.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
That's your only
Yep.
reason. For,
Davon didn't go to the final last
but that's
season.
your only reason for picking Polly.
No, it's not.
Then what
It's
is?
a
Because you want to
continued-
play the heel.
No. It's right there in front of us.
But so is Davon.
Yeah.
That's not.
If
it's
anything,
more than just this episode.
If anything, Davon coming first for the girls was even more of a surprise than Paulie.
If anything, Davon lasted longer in the real game than Polly did. He got to hang out in the Redemption House for a month
Yep.
and a half.
Yep. They won how many eliminations to come back into the main house and then got sent back? Davon and Jose? Multiple.
Just be
That's
consistent.
fine.
Just be
That's fine. Who was in the final? Who would have won the final?
That you cannot definitively say that
Joss and Sylvia.
because a lot of people said it was debated regardless.
I really wish Joss was on this season.
He's smashing heads.
Hey,
deal with it.
Get yours, because my laptop's gonna die. Let's get this done.
I like that you're not even facing the laptop, but you know if it's close to dying.
I do know.
What percentage is it?
14, we're good.
I asked Han.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd already started
he still
answering.
has to go through it and upload it and stuff.
It's fine. I'm
But
good.
let's just get it done.
Smash heads for me. I'm gonna pick Ashley C. Because I thought he was physically dominating looking, but I didn't know how good he would be at puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
He came out right away and again won the first prospects thing. So
Oh, that's right. He did come first for the rookies.
that's my pick because I didn't expect that.
That's a good one.
It didn't surprise me that Polly won. It did surprise me that Davon won, honestly.
Yeah.
But Ashley surprised me.
Yeah. Also, I feel like he could physically smash somebody's head in.
It didn't surprise me that Ninja won either.
Yeah. Okay. Who got their head smashed?
Yeah.
The twin that made it onto the show. The twin that didn't get sent home got her head smashed when the other twin did get sent home.
Chase, he got unmatched.
Okay.
Okay.
So I had two.
I mean,
That's true.
It was a good one.
Yeah, my initial one was Liz, the other twin, because
She got her
she
head smashed.
smashed her own
Yeah.
face into the sand
Yeah.
twice. Yeah. But other than that, I was gonna
Put your hands out or something. Brace your
Yeah.
fall. Good lord.
It's like it's one thing to do it once, but to do
Holy
it twice.
I want to
Holy-
go back and watch it because I totally missed that.
She did it twice in full view of
Okay,
everyone.
let's go watch it.
So my other one was Josh, just because he came in as a big name. He had just won Big Brother,
And he was the first one sent home.
first one gone. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, that's a big
yeah.
ego dropper.
yeah. And so again, Bear was second place, and that guy doesn't even seem like he cares that he's here. And so I think
he's here for a good time.
I think he will make good TV. Just FYI.
Yeah, he's
But,
gonna be fun.
all right, so yeah, that's our superlatives. We also end each episode. It started because me and Jake
and I
had an episode where we were just hosting ourselves and got to talking about music. People reached out, they liked it. So at the end of each episode, we recommend a high school album of the week, which are albums that we listened to in high school. Although we're starting to run out, and I've still got enough for a while.
I got a
but
few.
Hannah's been out for like a month and a
No,
half.
I haven't been out. I thought I was out, but I've gone back and like literally searched. But I am about done.
We also do
Just about
movies
done.
as well. And we've been going sequentially in the years. We're in 2004 right now.
Okay, what are we doing first? Album, movie?
Album.
Okay, album. Cage the Elephant, self-titled album. The whole album's just great.
Han, no disrespect, but I find myself just shrugging.
That's
You guys are so much older than me. And you listen to weird music because it was like different.
Yeah.
And unique.
Yeah,
And nobody else was listening to it.
Yeah, okay. My pick tonight is going to throw that right back in your face.
Look, I can't help it that Zach was in the emo core.
Yeah, good one.
Good one. Good one.
What's your pick?
Man, really fun band. Just uplifting. Hit the Lots.
I didn't ever listen to them.
Skip
I
school,
thought you were
start
going to say
fights.
Black Eyed Peas.
No, Hit the Lots album. Skip school, start
I
fights.
wish you would pick Black Eyed
I did like that song. Where's the love?
Yeah. No, I wish you would be like,
The one about the
My
boom
humps.
boom pal.
my lovely lady lumps. That's just,
No.
it real speaks to me. So, no, my pick, going back at you, Block Party, Silent Alarm. Their first album.
Sound the alarm.
Silent Alarm. Top to bottom, that album's flawless. Now, I will say the one after that, didn't really care for, but their new one that came out this year is freaking great. And it's called Hymns. But, yeah, it's just British, like pop rock, a little bit of electronic stuff in there, and it's great.
A little bit of emo rock thrown in
Yeah,
there.
good one. Good joke.
Emo core.
Yeah, you don't even know what that is.
Movie. For this week, we were doing the year 2004.
Already established that.
My movie is Napoleon Dynamite. It's one of those movies. It does not matter when it is on, where it is on, what part of the movie it's in. I will stop what I'm doing, sit down, and watch it to the end.
I gotta tell you, everybody mimicking Napoleon Dynamite
Ruined it
in
for
high
me.
school ruined
yeah.
it. Like it's.
I mean, yeah.
I'm right there with you. Because here's the thing. Me and you and your brother and some other people, we were in Texas. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
We went and saw it in theaters, and we're like, this movie's like, we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird. I get back to school. Everyone watches the movie over Christmas break, and for the next year and a half, that's all you hear.
Oh,
It literally
yeah.
ruined the movie for me.
You see all these Vote for Pedro shirts. You hear, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like everybody starts doing that, and it's like,
It's
I never
always
wanna watch it
the
again.
most unfunny kids at your school
Yes.
that are quoting
Yeah.
it, and that's
Yes.
what ruined it for me.
Well, the thing was,
It's the same people quoting Carlos Mencia all the
Yep.
time.
I watched it right before it hit my school, and my dad and I really liked it, and we watched it a second time together. We just like cleared our schedule for the rest of the night, sat on the couch, watched it start to finish just together, and it was like a thing. We really enjoyed it.
We liked it when we
But
first saw it.
the fact that it was like a film student's movie, like, that's awesome. And the weird sleazy uncle that ate all the steaks, that guy was vegetarian. So for every scene where he had to put a piece of steak in his mouth, chew it up, once they cut the scene, he would go and spit it out behind a bush.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I studied it. I studied this movie for 5 weeks in a film class.
Well, good for this young filmmaker of America, but a bunch of 13 and 14-year-olds ruined this movie for him.
I think it's the only movie that I've ever watched and like really enjoyed and liked it. And I was like, oh, this is unique, because it was, especially
It
at the time.
was.
And again, just being around the most unfunny people in the world that thought they were hilarious because they could.
Would you like some of my tots?
Tina,
Okay, well, I'm
hated
sorry
it.
you guys had a bunch of idiots that ruined the movie
I'm not
for
kidding.
you.
I've never had a movie be ruined by other people around me except for that one.
Yep.
This is just a movie that
And we haven't talked about this. I didn't know
No.
you felt
this
that way.
is a
I do,
movie
absolutely do.
that I have cherished since the first time
I think
ever
it was
watched
just our
it.
age. Like
What?
I don't know.
One of our good friends is part of who ruined it. Our good buddy Levi. He did it.
Levi?
Yes.
Jake, what's your movie?
Guitar Levi or another Levi?
Oh, Levi.
Oh, see, I didn't really hang out with him back then.
Yeah. All right, my movie I actually just watched on Netflix the other day is pre-Captain America Chris Evans in Cellular.
Haven't watched that.
I haven't either.
It's just fast paced.
I know what
it's
it
just,
is,
It's just
yeah.
a fun little movie. Nothing serious over the top. It's just fun. Jason Statham before he got super big.
I love Jason Statham.
Yeah.
I'm really excited
He's so
about
good.
about
The Hobbs
Oh,
and
man. I could
what?
just
I don't remember.
Shaw.
Statham.
Yeah.
I could just watch that trailer a
Yeah.
few hundred more times.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What's yours, Hannah? Oh, you already said yours.
Napoleon Dynamite.
We already talked about that. So my real pick would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but
That's
I've
the
already
one I knew for a fact.
I've already
you-
recommended that movie, so I'm gonna not do that.
Mean Girls.
It's gonna be great movie. I will say it's gonna be a little hypocritical based on what we just said about Hannah's movie, but
Crash.
no. When I saw, what did Crash have to do with your movie pick? Those are like the two opposite.
Well, I studied that one for 3
Oh,
weeks in
okay.
a film class, and it was like it was a really big movie at the time. Literally every like household name actor and actress is in that movie.
Not true.
Halle Berry's in it.
It did win an Oscar, and people are like, that's the worst Best Picture Oscar I've ever seen. Mine was after I can't pick Eternal Sunshine. I picked Anchorman, the first one, because
I almost picked that one. That was my second choice.
at the time. Do you know who do you know who went with me for the first time to watch that movie?
No.
My mom.
That's weird.
Yeah. I think I was like 15, and I was like, hey, do you want to go watch this movie? And she doesn't know Will Ferrell. She definitely didn't know anything about what this was.
Paul Rudd, Steve Carell.
I was really excited about this, and she laughed a lot, but she's like, this movie is so dumb. And I was like, I love it. And we went and saw it in theaters. And so speaking of that, my mom's birthday was yesterday,
Happy
and
birthday, Mama Couples.
I sent, she's at a
You're not
conference.
supposed to say her.
They know
name.
his last name.
She's at a conference, and I texted her just like, hey, happy birthday, we love you. And I included like a gift from the thing. And I saw one with Michael Scott, and it's happy birthday. And I was like, oh, great. And so I sent it to her. And then she's like, oh, lovely picture, LOL. And then I clicked on it, and you know how the gifts are sometimes smaller than what
Yeah.
they actually turn out to be? Well, in the background, it's Kevin with an inflatable blow-up doll smashing somebody. And I didn't know that was in there.
Did you text her back and tell her it was an accident?
No, I just left it, yeah.
She thinks you did that on purpose.
I know, because it's on brand for me, to be honest, but I didn't know that was in there. So
That's funny.
that happened.
That's funny.
So anyway, we're at 10%, so we got to close it down. But if you're new to the show, stick with us. Follow us on social media. Again, just real quick, at Smashing Heads on Twitter, at Smashing Heads Podcast on Instagram, Smashing Heads Podcast, on Facebook, smashingheadspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to email us, we are going to actively work on a fix for the ruins because we are planning on recording episodes 7 and 8 podcast this weekend. We might have a guest this weekend. That's up in the air, but we'll see. But that's not even D. Like, we're not counting D.
Yeah. Well, if you follow us on social media, you'll be first to know when we announce it.
Well, except that if you listen to this podcast, you already know D's coming on. But other than that, I don't think we've ever broken much news. Maybe we have. I don't care. Just follow us on social stuff because that's the best way.
We do polls and stuff. Like, we had everybody vote on which season to watch. Everybody picked the ruins.
We posted the picture of Para today.
That's right.
Yeah, if anything, that's enough reason to follow us.
So, again, if you're new, stick with us. Follow us everywhere. This is our second season. We started right before Final Reckoning, having no idea what we were doing.
We did not know the season we were getting ourselves into.
True. And now we're at, like, 36,000 downloads and, like 50 plus countries and stuff. So again, it's been really kind of mind blowing to us, but we just want to say thank you if you've been with us since the beginning or whenever you jumped on. And we're real excited about this season. I think tonight it's a good pace, it's a good pace car for what's going to come up. And we'll see what happens.
I'm just excited to see more Turbo.
And
I think he's going to be super funny.
We're going to try to do these on Wednesday nights as much as we can. If possible, we might have to move some of them to Thursdays just based on because Wednesdays just aren't a good day for us. But we try to go up same night if at all possible. And so we will be back with you next week for sure. Maybe this weekend if we can figure out something with the ruins or with one of our surprise guests.
It's good to be back with you guys on the regular. I'm going to change it up this week and tell you to have a good week and have a good night, everyone.
That's not much of a change up, but
it's enough of one.
It's an ad.
For some reason, Hannah has her mic like 3 feet above her head.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, and so...
I'm really uncomfortable and my back hurts and I want to stand up.
Okay, so we'll be back with you at minimum next week, but for sure... Not for sure, but maybe this weekend too, but we will see you later.
Have a good night, everyone.